Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
Welcome to FYI.
Welcome.
I'm back.
She's back.
It is Wednesday, the 20th of April,
It
2022.
is.
We're winding down very quickly to the ending of April, guys. You
It's the
know,
first just the other day.
my
Pick up the
goodness,
pace.
my goodness. You
Pick
know,
up the pace. Whatever you gotta do, folks. Gotta do now.
almost 4 months out into 2022. You know,
We're
this is
approaching
crazy.
half year very quickly.
Yep.
In which you gotta sit down back with those plans you made at the start of the year and see how well they're panning out. Might need some tweaking, some adjusting. I mean, you might do it on a monthly basis, but at half year.
All I think about when I think about half year is my birthday. I'm sorry.
Birthday coming up,
I'm
folks.
very selfish.
Coming up. Big birthday coming up in June.
Oh my goodness. I'm getting old. That's not
28 now?
26. Come on.
26, sorry. I'm pushing this thing. Apologies. I'm pushing it. Never mess with a woman's age. Never. 26.
Never ever.
26, folks.
Guys, how are you doing? I miss you tremendously. I can't believe, you know, I was like counting like a little child on my fingers. I'm like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like 5 days. I didn't interact. 5.
It was a long weekend. Plus, you had an extra day.
I had an extra day.
Long weekend.
I was out of town. I was in Region 7, out and about, not in Bartica alone, because Bartica is home. You're always there. But I was out and about in Region 7 all together during the weekend, and everyone loved it, you know, more family time. And I was supposed to be back here on Monday.
Extra family time.
I tried desperately to get back here because I wanted to be with you guys yesterday morning, but transportation didn't have the best of me. Where I was out of zone and all of that.
Sometimes you gotta take an extra day.
No, you can't.
Sometimes things are so nice. Things are so sweet.
You miss everything.
Stay on top of things. You just take it.
But I was out of touch. And you know what was the better part? I mean, it does come as a hindrance, but we weren't getting any signals on our phones where we were. So it's like
thank God back.
Restricted.
Timbuktu. Even Timbuktu got internet.
So I was like waiting to get somebody to come to see when the transportation, if they got the transportation, and it just was a whole story. But nevertheless.
But I'm happy she stayed an extra day. I had a man all to myself, and the tea is better this morning. Whatever she did, she needs to do more of it over the weekend.
The tea is better this morning.
The tea is much better this morning.
Dawn, how are you this morning? Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Dawn.
Derek Smith.
Rock and coming, Dawn. Rock and coming.
Stacey Mattis, good morning to you.
Stacey Mattis.
Stacey, I see Magnell Barrows here with us this morning also.
Hi,
Marlon
Max.
Thomas. Hey, Marlon. How did you guys spend your weekend? Listen, I'm late. Should I answer this question yesterday? But I'm late, so I still want to be in the business, right? Good. What did you do? I had a blast. I was doing everything that I needed to do. I came refreshed.
Fired up and ready to go.
Tessa
Isaac's watching us from Florida.
But Tessa, my goodness. Tessa's always on, you know. I see Charlene is on this morning also. Paulianne Schultz, good morning to you, Paulianne. I see Carol Rollins. I see Charlene is saying pace and power.
Pace and power.
So Beatrice Joretta, how was the regatta? Oh, the regatta was great.
Yep, I hear their photographs floating around. They were treating a two-piece at the regatta at the beach from there. So looking for that.
Damn these people.
Yeah, they're treating a two-piece. So we're looking for that. We mind our business, just how we remind a man's business this morning. We mind our business too. So we're hunting down those photographs.
I keep things on the wrap, I tell you.
They were on the wrap for us and then
listen.
Unleashed in Bartica.
I was there. I avoided photos like anything.
But that one
I avoided photos like the plague. Persons were seeing me, and it was like I was there with my entire family, and so persons were there that people want to know who those people are. So I'm like, no photos.
Don Joe had an outing over the weekend.
No photos.
And you know, one guy we heard saw Juita walking around Bartica in her two-piece, and they had an accident.
Oh my goodness!
You know, lost control there.
When I was younger, I was in secondary school, right? And this one guys, I kid you not, I was walking to school. This guy was riding a bicycle, and he's like turning back to tell me something right in the drain.
That must be embarrassing. Awkward. Awkward. Did you go and help him out?
Hell no.
You just kept on walking?
Yes, I was little. I was in school.
I just stay in the drain. If I was here, I ain't coming out. I'd be still living in the drain. I ain't coming out.
Oh my goodness.
At all.
That's what happens. Guys, you know the drill. We come on in the morning.
Moral story, don't fall in drinks.
No,
stop and
you gotta focus when you're on the road. That's the moral
of
the story. No, you have to focus where you go. You're riding, you're going somewhere.
Don't ride
and just write and go on your business.
Stop and throw your lyrics, as the trainer say. Lyrics. These are sweet words, you guys. The lyrics. The backward bad.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, so he was in a dream. That was quite something.
With Trinities, shout out to all the Trinities in the house. Good morning,
guys. I see.
Julian Mars is here. Paula Devonish.
Yeah, Vashti. He had to take a plunge in the dream.
Yeah.
Ricardo Charles. Ricardo Higg. Ricardo, how was your weekend?
Charles Humphreys here.
Oh,
Marlon Thomas.
Charles joins us from New York.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wish I was there. But things tight, so money ain't flowing the way it used to.
We can't be there.
You used to visit New York plenty on the Grange, not so much.
No, but the regatta was, it was the return of regatta after 2 years of no regatta.
Was it nice?
An activity that Bartitians look forward to. Yes,
minus the pageant.
It was. Yeah, well, minus the pageant, and I have to say that that I understand the fact that they could not have had the pageant because it takes time actually. Let me say.
Really?
So what they didn't do is prep. And I could say that they needed to prep with the eventuality in mind that we may be able to have regatta like they did, but they didn't do that. So because of that, they didn't have a pageant, because usually for the Bartica Regatta pageant, girls are invited and accepted from all parts of the country to participate in that pageant. So when the delegates are finalized and so forth, they actually go through rigorous training before they get to that pageant night. So that because of that, the time did not permit for them to have the pageant. But I know that once all goes well, next year the pageant will be back, and I know a lot of persons look forward to that. I look forward to that specifically.
Yeah. You know who was part of the pageant there in Bartica? I think a year or two ago or three. What's her name? Beautiful young woman, lovely spirit. She has a cosmetics business now.
Oh, Dahlia.
Since Dahlia contested, I don't know what's no pageant. There can never be another Dahlia. Quite
well, but there was one clause, Dahlia
is tremendously beautiful young lady, and I don't think that anybody else from Bartica could ever top, or pageants in general could ever top Dahlia's kind of standard. So I just gave up with pageants after.
Well, they have that's
Dahlia.
That's kind of running in their family, because the year after that it was her sister.
Really?
Yes.
One day regatta.
Yeah.
Wow, how nice.
See, but
nice.
But
very. You mean there's another Dahlia?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I don't think is it
FYI.
I'm thinking that there may be a twin, but I can't remember, so I'm not going to put my mouth there. But definitely we have some really talented, beautiful young women, ambitious. Yes.
Yep. And Dahlia went on to do some great things since then. Her own business and several other things.
She represented Guyana at another pageant also. I can't remember.
Dahlia is a person of interest one morning.
Yes, most definitely. We'll do that.
Yep,
I'll reach out. I'll contact her.
A person of interest.
Yeah, she has been quite an amazing young woman.
Dahlia was spectacular. I thought so. We got a lot of hidden treasures in this country,
Definitely.
A lot of hidden treasures. A lot of them in Bartica. I can understand why John Doe went up over the weekend.
Yeah, so that's family. Yeah, it's more
meeting family reason. Writing home. Just go home now.
Right home.
Yeah, we just go home. Bring them home. But shout out to folks, Dahlia and all the other beautiful, smart young women in Bartica. Shout out to Kamal, Region 7 Vice Chair.
Is quite an amazing woman.
The category by yourself.
Guys, we're gonna have Kamal on the program pretty soon.
We have to have Kamal on. Kamal Fasad, the Vice Chair of Region 7.
Yeah.
Quite a beauty in her own right, and tremendously smart, politically gifted. And we hear, she can be sending her off soon.
We're sending her off?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
It is time. Look how we're sending off Kamal. I just planned it when I see the colors and everything. I see the veil and everything. But shout out to all the beautiful folks down there in Bartica, except the bells.
No, but listen, we have to shout out a bell this morning.
Shout out the bells.
Believe it or not, we need to shout out one of the bells this morning, right? Because we cannot talk about regatta without acknowledging the fact Randy Bell came out as the champion racer out of the Bartco Regatta.
Really?
Randy Bell.
Was there any fighting by the selling?
There was. Let me tell you something about Randy Bell. I know Randy Bell for a while. Very humble, simple individual. Keeps very to himself, his family.
He related to the Bells?
Yes, but he's a different Bell altogether. Different person, different personality. He's married to his wife actually taught me in school.
His wife is Bartician too?
Bartician, beautiful family. They have an amazing young woman as a daughter, and she actually topped the region when she wrote CXC up there.
Much like you.
Very, very much. Very, very nice family persons. I have to say shout out to Randy Bell and congratulations for that win. The other top racer that we have there is a guy by the name of Dave Scott, but his boat had issues early on in the race, and something was wrong with his engine, so he had to fall out. So that boat, that was a different boat. That's a Jaguar boat. So Bell went on to win all of the races. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
congrats.
So there it is, Randy Bell.
Randy,
so congratulations
to
you. Yeah.
FYI.
I have to say.
Actually, Bell with a difference.
Yeah. So you don't really
so you don't no fighting.
No, you don't put together just the family and just one little shell.
A man is not his family.
Yes, very important this morning for us. So congratulations to Randy Bell. Very amazing race, and I think he's done Bartica proud altogether at the regatta.
Don Sullivan, we see you, Don. Sabina Jacobs and Marlon Trim, Erica Hooper, Don Sullivan, Winston Henry. Good to see each and every one of you. Winston, he's a jingle bell.
Yeah, he's different.
He's a proper bell.
He's proper. Listen, I give kudos, credit where it is due, and credit due there. So yes, most definitely.
Right. If you say, I take your word, he's a good bell.
Yeah, listen, I'm from Bartica. If I say
he's a good bell, yes.
You got to take my word as it goes.
All right. I sip my tea.
I see Pat Miller. Good morning to you, Pat. I see Sherry Baskin. Grenades is here from Barbados.
Good to see you, Sherry.
Morning.
Good to have you, Sherry. And of course, my friend from the Bronx will come up next. That's the order.
I see Siobhan McDonald is watching us from New Jersey.
Oh, yes. New Jersey. Anybody from the Independent Republic of Linden?
Independent. Oh, yes. I think that's what the man said yesterday.
The Independent Republic of Linden. Anybody from there? I know folks who are joining us from New Jersey. You know, when I find something nice, I like to talk about it. When we find something nice, you know, that's why Trudy talks about John Doe so often. When we find something nice here, we talk about
proper things.
Yeah, proper things. Properness. And he's not from Bartica, that's why I don't know.
Thank God.
Them Barticians come and they see tongue boy.
It's the opposite. Tongue man just kind of left people alone. You went to Barbizia, left the people.
I like straight. It's the fastest. The fastest carry me. That being said, folks, you know, there's a tremendous business. Young Guyanese couple just opened a business in New Jersey. And I'm not always familiar with the with these addresses per se, but here's the address. This is First Option Juice Hub. And, you know, I think young Guyanese couple, apolitical, doing well overseas. I love to see that. People pursuing their passion. And they can be found the First Option Juice Hub, 1832 E 2nd Street, Scotch Plains, New Jersey. So, folks, you know, we were talking when we introduced them last week, that sometimes even if you have to go a little out of your way to be supportive of somebody, if you can do that, you know, it doesn't hurt you, it doesn't take anything away from you, do that. And help this business to grow. Definitely, you know, the U.S. has millions of businesses fail every day too. Yeah. That being said, I want you guys to support them. First Option Juice Hub, a lovely, quiet
Where is
couple.
They located?
1832 or 1832 E 2nd Street, Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Okay. And their telephone number is 908-288-7256. And they got an assortment of juices and I think other stuff that you can eat and so forth. And you can, you know, be as supportive as you can to them. I'm certain it's gonna go a long way for them. And these things have a way of coming back to you.
Yeah.
Full circle. When you're good to people, it has a way of coming back to you. Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I have to mention was you talking about that, and I remember like I was home and we were having eggs to breakfast, and what captured my attention is the fact that what captured my attention is because the eggs were branded, they were stamped and branded right there in Bartica. There was a small business. I'm telling you, there's a small business in Bartica. actually doing that. Yes.
What is it stand for?
I was
you take a photograph?
I have to go into my phone. Believe me, that I do have a photograph, but I can't remember it's precisely. But I know it's the Rose. I think it was the Rose Farm, right there. But I have to say, kudos to those persons. It's always good to see someone. Sometimes it's just the little thing. The little things that matters, you know. Oh my goodness.
Always the little things, and I'm so happy, you know, to see Guyanese folks. And you know, the address and so on is even a photo of the business pinned to my Facebook page. And you guys can check them out and be supportive of them.
Yes.
Be supportive. You know, and we can be talking more about different businesses that are out there. And again, circling back to Bartika and what's her name, I think I'd love to feature her.
Yes.
You know, give people a push. Give people a push. And I've seen these things come back, not necessarily from the people of themselves, but the goodness.
Yeah.
Come back to benefit you.
It's full circle.
Right?
I'm a believer in that. You know, once you do good comes back to you. There's a lot of times I see some people punish and I say, you know what? They probably have a history that I don't know.
Yeah.
So, you know,
You know, I had a very terrible experience with American Airlines, right? I kid you not. So it was my son's birthday, and I wanted to go up for his birthday. He's in the US. I wanted to go up for his birthday last year. And he was turning 13. And I know 13 is a major milestone when you become a teenager. So I really wanted to spend the time with him. And so I was going up for his birthday, and my aunt says, you know what? Don't come the day before. I know this airlines. I know them. Don't come the day before. Come a couple days early. Just in case there are delays, you can still make his birthday. Even a couple days before, didn't do it. Wow. Because I still ended up missing the flight.
Wow.
And I had to take a connecting flight. Missing the flight from Georgetown.
Not missing the flight. The flight never took off.
Well, yeah.
You can't
miss sorry. And I never got connected to the flight. So there was that. And then I had to take a connecting flight when I got to JFK. And of course, I ended up missing that. And what I learned here is that even though I got on a later flight, 1 week later, missed the birthday by 1 week, I had already missed the connecting flight. But they couldn't sort out that flight from here.
Wow.
So I had to wait till I get on the ground at JFK, then to sort out that flight. It was a horrible, 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 horrible experience. Wow. One fellow redeemed the whole airline, right? I remember going up to him, and I think that area was closed, but he patiently, you know, made sure that I had the connecting flight, made all the arrangements and that kind of stuff, right? But I swore an oath. I swore. I know you see me like little cheapness and stuff. I swore that I'm going back to my first love. I went back to Caribbean Airlines. I said, wow. No, they promised, they apologized profusely, promised me a set of thousands of miles. I said, I don't care if the flight for the rest of my life is free.
I can see Caribbean Airlines cutting this part of this video.
It was so horrible. Caribbean Airlines, we out here. We out here. You know, we like the little cheapness. Right? That was a horrible, horrible experience. The experience here, because by the time I got to Chattanooga International, you know, the people were so flippant. I said, where's the counter for this airlines? You know, American Airlines. They said, oh, you see the buyer there? He belonged to them. No counter. The buyer looked like he is sweeping up something. And it was nobody there to tell you what was happening, where to go. And so it was horrible. I told them, they wrote to me, I said, I don't care if the flight's free for the rest of my life. I know some of you probably had good airlines, but I'm being told that American Airlines within the US, proper, right? Of course, they won't make joke for guests, but it's people like us on the international routes and so on that they treat anyhow.
Yeah.
No. I went back to my first love. I'm telling you.
Well, I only had one experience, and the flight left promptly on time with American Airlines. So thank God.
Is who you know them, man?
I don't know, but I'm just thankful.
You gotta give me the hook up.
I'm just thankful that I didn't have that issue because I would have lost my mind. So.
I ain't got a kind of patience. So. And I want you to see me in the front page of Kaichur or Stabrook or other papers because I was like this close to losing it. I said, Jesus, salvation is a process. I'm walking through it.
Oh my
God.
But
you know, kudos to folks who travel with them because like you, they got folks who probably never. But that experience was my first time trying American Airlines. I was looking.
But after I heard of your experience, I was praying that that I didn't have to deal with it.
Oh boy!
God came through for me.
No.
Oh my goodness! So I see, Marlon Thomas and JetBlue is cheaper than American Airlines.
Now you're telling me. No, you're telling me. I want back my money. Right?
Oh my goodness.
Melinda McKenzie said dynamic was also horrible. I hope what's his name listening.
But I had a straight flight, so I don't know if your connecting flights. I don't know if the connecting flights have issues or what. I don't know.
Because me flight connecting. Yeah, so
I don't know.
I like seeing different places. I don't mind the connecting flights so much, right? I like right? But that experience, I say, Lord, if you save me life here, I would never get. The Lord come true for me with a fellow. Right? I so vexed. I missed my son board. I was going to surprise him. Missed
that was sad.
I was so upset, turning 13.
Wow.
I mean, we still connected, and so we had a good road trip in the US too. Right? But I remember that thing back me. I said, AA, I go into the other AA, but not this AA.
Guys, so much to do. You know, we got out this morning. We started right into the conversation. I don't know if I told you to share the live stream. I am positive I did not. But so make sure that you go in. As we head into the discussion, lots to discuss this morning. Very interesting pieces of information coming out. And we definitely need to get into all that is happening, you know. But as we look at in the morning papers, right, we see a pedestrian dies in the Monrepo accident. You know, guys, every single and followed by motorists killed in the Ogle Access Road accident again. That crash.
And we talked about that last year.
Correct. Yeah. Well, guys, we've been speaking about this every single day, practically. That you know, slow down, be careful, arrive alive. All of these things we've been saying, and persons are not hearing it enough.
All you're hearing.
They're not hearing it enough at all, and these are very sad things to come on in the morning, and I have to. And
I don't know. All of a sudden, there's a lot of acrobatics with these motorcyclists. Yeah. You know, you would think, and we, you know, when we were coming, we passed a guy. You know, he ain't got no helmet. He on the outside cutting. Everybody got this perception. I's a big rider. Yeah. I's a big driver. It can't happen to me. Yeah. I see guys going down. What do you call it? The embankment, railway embankment, line top, as we say. Going down the line top, lying down on these motorcycles. Oh, okay. Yeah, go in the national park. And do those kinds of stuff by yourself, where, you know, it's just you might fall down or something like that. Go on Culture Center tarmac and do all your stunts and your wheelie and so on. Not in traffic. Yeah. All kind of skills to do.
Because in addition to all of this, a man died just a few days ago in Bartica as well, motorcycle. Crashed into the guy and killed him. You know, it's very, very sad pieces of information we have to bring you when it comes to accidents on the road. We have,
and some of these things are preventable. It's not freak accidents. It's not freak accidents. If you take a certain course of action, right, there's going to have a certain result. All these skills they're doing on these motorcycles, nobody got on helmet. Nobody got on any safety guards or nothing like that. What do you think will happen if you fall down?
Yeah.
And the bike in the hospital, all kind of, it's just of recent. Some of those bikes are not built for those things, you know. They are not built for that. You're treating a bike, an ordinary motorcycle, as though it's a stunt bike.
Correct.
Right.
You know, even by the traffic light, I noticed one time the guy was like, he's doing stunts going cross, you know, but at the traffic light. I'm thinking, like, this person must be mad. You know, you gotta be crazy.
Yep.
Like, no value for life. Contemplate something like that. You're not only putting yourself in danger, but you're putting other person's lives in danger.
Very much so.
And we have issues with that.
Go by this, and the mini buses. Oh God, that's a pandemic by itself.
The association, listen, we have to call these people out. I mean, they do whatever, but they have to do more. They have to do more. The association needs to do more when it comes to these buses, because I have been seeing mini buses continuing to operate as though they have no regulations guiding them altogether. Crazy, you know.
And again, everybody say, I's a big driver.
Big driver.
I's a big driver. Some of them big for sure. I's a big driver.
Different type of big driving.
Come on, folks. Right? A whole set of stunts with people's lives in the hand, you know. Right? And, you know, passengers, we got a responsibility to tell these guys, slow down. Some things they're doing. It is just unbelievable. You come in, when you come to UG Road, you're coming into town. Yeah. You're on the highway, you come by UG Road, and you pull up by the stop like there. The buses feel there's an inside lane to go straight.
Oh wow.
All the buses take that inside lane. There's an inside lane to turn. but they want to get past it like fast. So all of them come and line up on the inside lane going down. And they do that foolishness all the time. Even when you're at Ogle, you're heading up the East Coast. You're at Ogle Road, on the main road by the traffic light. Again, all of them come with that inside lane, trying to beat you quickly. It's madness. It's absolute madness. The risk you see minibuses taking with passengers inside is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff.
They're risking your lives for a couple change, you know, a couple dollars. It's most ridiculous. I can't believe that people sit in buses and allow drivers to do that. Let them put you out. And you know, sometimes, you know, this whole concept of their safety numbers, we need to understand the power of our united voices. Because if the bus stop and if the bus driver wants to put somebody out the bus because they're speaking up against their speeding, then everybody in the bus have a right to just get up and walk out.
You see how fast,
you know, because and then when the crash happens, your family is left to.
We gotta arrest that. We gotta change that. We gotta change it. Too much people taking too many risks on this road here, boy. You know, sometimes I just want to park and stay home. Honestly, God, when you're studying the carnage happening on that road on a daily basis, I just want to come out to bed. I used to frighten.
It's very sad, but you know, our condolences to the family, the relatives and friends of those persons that lost their lives.
Monrepo guy, the guy from Ogle Access Road,
the
guy from Bartica. That's just one weekend, you know. It's an ordinary weekend. Ordinary weekend. The one from Ogle, they said he was doing some stunts on the road too.
Wow.
Right? So it's a lot of wildness out here, you know.
It's very sad. But as we move forward on what's going on in the morning papers this morning, we see Guyana ready to bluster relations with the Philippines and Zimbabwe. Sharon, what do you think about
Mudzimba.
What do you
That's
think about
the ambassador from Zimbabwe, Mudzimba.
Yes.
The ambassador from the Philippines, I'm not so familiar with that name as yet. But, you know, welcome. Welcome to the rough and tumble yacht.
Didn't know.
Didn't you know? But welcome. Guyana is the greatest country on earth. I want you all to know that. And I'm not just saying that. Guyana is the greatest country on earth.
Yeah.
Mineral wealth, beauty, people.
Surprises.
Right? Surprises, potholes. Right?
You name it, we have it.
Karen Crow, Jumbie Board trying to pass his eagle. Greatest country on earth, folks. Right? You won't have a dull moment here. Never a dull moment. Right? That's why I go overseas, you know. That's why when I in Miami.
They need to change our board.
In transit.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend you just didn't say that.
When you're in Miami or wherever you pass through and you watch that door, it says, where are you going back to?
I'm not going to pretend that Sheridan just did Jumbie Board.
The Jumbie Board. Guyana is the greatest country.
Everything
right?
aside.
We are tremendously creative. Not the person make the board though.
And everything.
Somebody friend get a walk for do the board.
Listen, I celebrate anything that is added to the beautification of our country.
Well, celebrate the Jumbie Board.
No, I celebrate that is not adding to the beautification. That's my point, right? That's where I'm coming to. I celebrate everything that's added to the beautification of the country. You know, the road was open. You know, you went. You said, "Oh, good." It's good. Persons are going to, hopefully it aids tremendously in the traffic buildup and so forth and all of that. But then you come to the board. This is supposed to be something that we can celebrate as well. Oh, there's a good symbol there. But what is that?
Yeah.
You know?
But I
come from a very artistic family. Trust me, right? That cannot be left like that. It has to be changed, right?
Well,
I get the intention, right? But whatever the intention was, it didn't materialize. Yeah,
you know,
it never happened.
This might not resonate with everybody, but I hope one of them white do we a favor. Right? But they mustn't got no idea. Just clean up the board. One of them white Let me start. No, let me start afresh.
But I think it was Harris that did his little cartoon, and he was spot on, you know.
Yeah.
Like
that board, impale that board. That board is being stabbed over and over. Right? It's something's wrong there, but it's the greatest country. When you think about us as a people, Rita.
Yes.
Greatest country on earth, Ghana.
Oh my goodness.
Right? So great. We got visitors coming. We come to that just now.
Yeah, but as we go along and what's going on in the morning papers this morning, we see nurses and midwives registration and regulation bill table at the National Assembly. And then also you see government tables and mental health protection and a promotion bill. And so you see a lot is not regular.
A lot is not right. A lot is not regular and right here because the nursing council has the impression that the government is trying to usurp its authority through this legislation. And if you read the fine prints, folks, you will see this is just another attempt to take over. The government this administration, this regime seem not to like independence.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a foregone conclusion.
And so you see it with the nursing council, what's happening. You see, for instance, what's happening with the credit union on the Trevor Ben, them trying to take over here. Y'all wicked. Full stop. What's happening with the Linden Utility Company, what's happening with the Bartica Association is control. Control freakism. Right? All you want is yes, people. Why there has to be?
Yeah.
Right?
And because of that, it's the danger is ahead with those things, because when and I keep mentioning it, when you remove independence and oversight, you remove the technical experts and all of these things, what are you left with? You're left with institutions, organizations, bodies that do not have the competence to actually push forward in any positive direction, and you're going to end up with a tremendous failed state.
Then nursing council going good kitty cat all the time. You know, we all you see the trouble we got in this country is that we feel when we're in government, we'd never be in opposition. Right? We would never be in opposition. That's the trouble we have. The same people who doing this foolishness, Cus Burnham under 1980 Constitution, protested, had strikes. Oh, the Constitution was dictatorial. This, that, the tyranny, and the other. Those folks went in 23 plus 2, 24 years, 25 years to date. 25 years. They didn't change one page in the Constitution.
Yeah.
They didn't change a page in the Constitution. When outside, Burnham Constitution, this and that. They operate as though they would never be in opposition. All of this here, and then when they're in opposition now, they say, oh, government is too centralized.
The motion that was passed in the National Assembly with regards to the Public Accounts Committee is a typical example of what you're saying.
Control freaking.
Right? That's a typical example. And it comes back to the point that I make oftentimes. You know, sometimes I'd come and smile very, very nice and joyfully I can be, but I think that sometimes they must be left to live with the consequences of their actions.
Now, this credit union, the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union, that credit union never seen better days than now.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
We have stuff going on right in today's paper.
Let us be fair. And again, the control freakism. Right? You got to mash up. Once you don't control it, you got to break up everything. It's foolishness. You said nothing don't run peaceful in this country. Everything. You know, when I was coming out this morning, Twitter, I thought about what we learned in sociology.
What did you learn?
Sociology, SAC 110 and so on, 120.
Mr. Hicks.
You see, only if you went to UG, like
Mr. Hicks, yes, I did.
SAC 110 and 120. You know, one philosopher, I can't remember his name, but I know we got some sharp people out there said, all of life is a struggle. That's this country. I think they prove the man right every day. Nothing don't run peacefully, you know. We fight down the credit union. We fight down the cricket board. Everything is a fight in this country. Let's fight. We fight. Everything is fight. We fight down the utility company, the people going along peaceful, kitty cutter. They're not part of it. They got broke it up. The London Board of Guardians. The London Board of Guardians. You got a predominantly Afro community, African community like Linden. Everybody on the Board of Governors is East Indian. And nobody got a problem with that. Right? And belong to one political party. Right? Everything, one thing running smooth. And their people under it, they got to break it up. So they're heading now to the Guyana Cooperative Credit Union.
Yeah.
Trying to install some IMC and their own people. It's foolishness.
But my thing is,
you know, a lot of people didn't even know that credit union was there until now. The whole building transformed. The whole area there transformed. Why are you so wicked?
I said a little earlier, you have to give credit where credit is due. And the credit union is, Trevor Ben is one of those persons you have to give credit to when it comes to the way in which he's managing the credit union. Suddenly, everybody knows that the credit union exists. Suddenly, out of the blues. And I'm looking through the papers, but I think I'm missing it somehow. But I noted in today's papers.
The problem is the credit union is independent. I don't have to go to them, the government, the regime, to beg. You work as a public servant. You save a little money with the credit union, you borrow a little money, you build your house, and you move forward.
Yep.
Everything is them.
You're saving your own money, you'll be able to
New building society started on the Burnham. They take over. Everything you got to take over, you got to mash up. Whatever they can control, they broke up. It's a bad way we have. How US operate, US people come in, right? How US operate when we go to the US, Trinidad, we don't shame, right? Yes, people got political contention, social and otherwise. They got problems, but they're moving forward for the common good. For the common good. We featured, which was the country we featured last week when we talk about the hair and how they're reforming the school policy?
St. Kitts and
St. Kitts and
St. Vincent.
no,
St. Vincent.
No, it's a British territory. Oh, Anguilla. But I said that because Anguilla is going to build something. I can't remember what is it. The administration, right? And it seemed as though it's a small enterprise they're going to construct. But what really and truly appealed to me was the fact that they were advertising public consultation. Right? Public consultation. I want to break up the whole medical council. Right? Did we have a public consultation? What's wrong with it? Like all of a sudden, you got to legislate away the nursing council. You got to legislate how nurses are registered and get a license and all of that.
But interesting enough to note, guys. I think we need to mention it because this is something that was tabled in the National Assembly. It's going to come up and it's going to be debated. That's how the process works. I'm going to tell you that the opposition as is going to go into the National Assembly and debate at length. May very well go into the night, as these things have been happening recently. And what I can say is that at the end of it, the government, no matter what they say, sometimes they get up and they say absolutely nothing at all. But they're going to be passing these things based on their one-seat majority in the House, and that's the system that they utilize. They know that there's one-seat majority, so they say that, oh well, they don't need to consult, they don't need to do this, they don't need to do that. They're just going to table something, and then they're going to go and just rush and have it put to a vote, and then this is it. This is law. So very, very sad state of affairs. We continue to talk about the breaking down of the guardrails altogether. And these are the systems that are being utilized and the mechanism that is being utilized by the administration of the day to make sure that they break down the guardrails so that they can have complete control of what is going on in the country. And we all know that if you remove the experts and all of those things, then you cannot get to any place in which we're in a safe space in our own country. We're going to have a failed state at the rate in which we're going. And persons can say whatever. This is constructive criticism. If you are removing persons if you are dismantling bodies, independent bodies, if you are removing oversight altogether, when you continuously do those things, when you continue to remove experts, technical experts, and replace them with political persons that don't have the slightest clue about how to manage those organizations, we are heading to a failed state, and we're well on our way there. So persons can say what they like, you can say that you're just giving criticism, but when you highlight exactly what you're talking about, how can you then come up and say that, well, these are just wide criticisms? It's not. It's very specific to what is going on right now. And every single thing that is happening is saying that the state will fail. If we continue at this rate, the state will fail.
Yeah, I was trying to pull up what the ad said in that same context. There's this public consultation on, for instance, a lot of issues, and what appealed to me was what was said at the bottom of it. So let's bring all of our thoughts to the table to contribute to whatever the consultation was.
That's foreign.
Let us bring all our thoughts to the table. But last we hear the don't invite the opposition, right? We can bring all we thoughts to the flag raising the other day, right? Come bring all we thoughts to the Oil Expo that you had, right? And a little country like Anguilla, I shouldn't say a little country, relatively small population and land mass in that sense, but big thinking, much like Barbados, small land mass, but they're thinking in 83,000 squares, and we 83,000 squares, and we thinking in 166.
Well, a very sad state of affair that we got. Very, very sad. And I know that something I just wanted to mention right now, that the fact that the fisherman who allegedly killed his wife is yet to be arrested. I know I read that headline in the papers and immediately what came to my mind is the fact that there was the incident on the train in the US with millions of people and the speed at which that individual was captured. Now you have someone here that's alleged to have murdered his wife and yet to be arrested. How does that work in our country, you know? What efforts are being put in place to actually capture him? Those are the questions
a lot of bluster in the newspapers by the acting commissioner of police.
Okay.
Right, act and this act and so act. But let me do.
We just want to capture the criminals, you know.
Let me do the work.
At the beginning. And on the international front, you know, guys, as we're looking at the international front, we see the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson apologizes to Parliament over lockdown breaches.
I had a state apologizing?
Yes.
For breaches in COVID-19?
Yes.
We had a lot of breaches here too. A lot, not just one.
My goodness.
A lot of breaches. And you apologize.
Yes.
Wow, that's foreign as bring all the ideas to the table.
The entire process with Boris Johnson and what transpired there with him breaking his own regulations, his own government's regulation, I can say that it was a lesson altogether on when systems work, how they should work. Exactly.
Good governance.
Yep. You can't just make rules and believe that you can be a part of the body that put together these rules and then go out there and break the rules yourself. There must be consequences. And persons came down very heavily on him for that. And it's quite amazing to see the UK Prime Minister actually apologizing, you know,
to Parliament
over the lockdown breaches.
Locally, you know? We say, what's a Parliament?
Yes.
What's a speaker?
That's the way it is in Guyana, and I continue to say, you know, as a first-time parliamentarian, I am, you know, you had to get over the shock very quickly in order to get on with the work that you have to do. That this is the body that you looked up to as a child. You know, you would pass at the public buildings and, oh my gosh, you know, such great things happening.
Great people too.
Here, great people.
Share.
And then you were in the building.
She's so nice.
You're in the building now, and when you realize the level of crazy, corrupt, incompetence that you have to deal with, it's ridiculous. You know, kudos to the staff at Parliament that puts up with these things for years. You know,
got the fortitude.
My goodness, you know.
Yep.
Kudos to the Parliament staff. Look.
Oh, you know, you talk about Parliament, all I'm thinking about is this mental health bill that was tabled, because that's all I see. That's an institution by itself.
Well, most definitely, and a lot of work needs to be put into that in particular with the mental health bill, because only last evening, our affiliate program In the Ring was covering the incident that happened in Bartica with the young man that was assaulted, someone that is suffering some mental health challenge in himself, and he was assaulted, and that very young man prior was assaulted by some police officers as well in Bartica also, you know. So a lot of work and a lot of consequences need to be put in place for persons that abuse, persons that have mental health issues.
You know the system,
right?
You need some medical help.
Yeah, no, but the system needs to be fixed, you know. So this particular one, I have to go through. I haven't had a chance as yet to go through the fine print of the bill, but I will be doing that before the week is out to see what is.
People don't understand the pressures, guy. Needs to live on there every day, no. The greatest country on earth, wealthiest country on earth, and the simple pressures. Could you imagine? You're working for a salary, $25,000 a month. Can't get a job after that job is finished because there aren't any jobs available. You're working half day. You want another job, yes, right? You're trying to get a little loan, you know, to do something extra. You don't want thief, you don't want to rob nobody. People say you can't get that. Your salary meet the criteria.
You're a public servant. You can't access.
35,000 is how much? It's 100 and something US.
But the thing is about it is people are trying. They're struggling, but they're still trying to walk with their head held high and not beg.
That's what I'm telling you. We are a marvelous people. You know, our resiliency, Jesus have mercy.
Yeah.
Right? Mental health is real, you know, but we just dismiss it, you know.
Yeah.
We just dismiss it. Moving on. Moving on.
Yeah, as we go on the international front, we see White House on restores rule requiring stringent environmental review.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Say what?
Yes, environmental review, guys. Come on. We've been talking about, we've been speaking a lot about the environmental laws and regulations and all of those things in our country. And the fact that we have an administration that is trying to basically go around those regulations as much as possible in getting their way. And I guess to speed up things to their own personal, the personal benefit of specific individuals in the administration. I can put it over like that.
I know when we go back into government, when the parliamentary opposition retakes office very, very soon, we'll have to roll back some of those same things, because that's been happening in the US. Trump had done away with lots of those safeguards, lots of those guardrails, and what this new administration is saying, that those things are actually serve a purpose. Believe it or not, guardrails for a reason. And so they are reinstituting some of those things. And for instance, they're saying, for those big projects, you have to consider their impact on the environment, right? Then by say that's a no-brainer. That bridge, and you have a bridge that conceptualized under the last administration, that will have no impact on the environment. That's a no-brainer. That's just little steel and so on in water. That won't do nothing. Right? Me, we gotta read nothing. Right? That's a no-brainer. Right? Biden saying big projects, we got to do all of the due diligence, the studies and reports and assessments.
We have one Earth. Let's understand.
Don't tell
this,
that
right?
to PPP.
We have what the Earth. The Earth is just not. We just can't make back another Earth. It's just not. It doesn't happen like that. And because of that, environmental protection and all together, those things are supposed to be at the top of everything else we do. We have to protect the environment because we have generations to come after us, and we need to make sure that they are safe, and that's supposed to be everyone's number one priority.
But it isn't, unfortunately. It is not.
My goodness.
It is not. And so that's the challenge we have. The US is saying that we're putting back our safeguards. And we are removing ours at this end. We're removing ours. And that's the problem they had with that big contract the other day for the shore base. That the US says, while we love fossil fuels, we think that we got to start now easing up on these projects. Because we got to, if we talk about all of the emissions in the CO2, why do we go to these big conferences and make out the pledge that we can do this and cut emissions by this and that for greenhouse gases and all of that to prevent the ozone layer, all that stuff. And then we go back and we do the same thing over and over. And we have said it here, Einstein, one of the smartest men who ever lived, said that, madness is doing the same thing over and over. And they expect a different result. We call it here in Guyana, Jagnerism. Right? You do Skeldon a certain way, you get a result, you can try to do the same next project the very same way.
Yep, that's how they operate.
Right? And I was telling folks, Starbucks News, you talked just now about Caribbean Airlines in Qatar. Starbucks News in Qatar this now, because I was telling folks yesterday, Starbucks News had a pretty interesting column, a pretty interesting article rather, based on the Anand Gulsharan column in Starbucks News. And Anand Gulsharan, is a renowned what do you call it, accountant, right up to the PhD level. And this is not a PhD that is what do you call it?
Bestowed upon you. Honorary PhD.
Honorary PhD. This fella earned this PhD, right? He's a master in this area, accounting and the figures and these issues, macroeconomics and so on. This is his stuff, and he was chronicling the big failed projects in this country, and lots of them he says were PPP projects. Right? Skeldon Sugar Factory. Utter failure. This is according to him. Complete failure. Sheldon Sugar Factory. One laptop per family. Complete failure. This is his words. Right? So we know you got some trenches and jagabats coming to listening to us and say, oh, this is new AFC propaganda. No. This is Anand Gulsharan. Right? And if he said it so, I believe him.
Correct.
Right? He said Skeldon Sugar Factory failed project. One laptop per family failed project. Fiber optic cable project. Utter complete failure. Complete failure. And he's not just living, he's telling you how he has arrived at these conclusions, looking at the reports that were done on them, the COIs that were done on them, and a whole host of other yardsticks, failing to reach outcome. Charlie Jagan International Airport built in 10 years now. little 2x4 airport. 10 years now. Right? Way over cost. No tendering for it.
Oh, but it's crazy because we have seen a lot done by the UPNUAFC administration in those years that they were in office because it's one thing to say that you're doing something, but another when you actually have to deliver and what is the finished product and all of those things. Persons were boarded, even the boarding terminals at the Chedi Jagan International Airport. It's something that persons like, wow, they
friends and family. That's how
they have an experience basic convenience. What is considered basic convenience in other countries?
And so I was saying, if you never bought a paper, some Sabbath News, yesterday papers are good buy. Yesterday's Sabbath News. Matter of fact, that article was published a little bit online. I actually thought it was published last week. I went looking for the paper over the weekend, but only found it was published yesterday in the hard copy of the newspapers. If you can buy any Sabbath News, yesterday was a good buy. Right? We appreciate at this end. We got lots of activists online, lots of people who are militant politically and so on. You're going to invest in that education. You got to be educated. As a political person, you got to love reading. You got to love researching. You got to love going after the facts. It's not just about spouting stuff. And that's why some of the stuff that PAP people say surprised me, because you understand it is so easy to knock down their arguments because they're doing a lot of reading. They just hear, the world-renowned economist Jack Deere says something, and they run with that, right? But compare and contrast with Anand Gulshan. Don't take me word for it. Don't take me word for it. And you know what? In oil and gas, let me just try to even the thing. Kaicher News doing some fantastic work in that regard. Some fantastic work in terms of oil and gas.
He doesn't miss it. We have to give credit like we always do.
Morning
give
papers.
Credit where credit is due, because Glenn Lal has been on the ball when it comes to oil and gas and reporting for oil and gas. He has not missed anything. He has been on the ball, and we have to give credit there. So
and we will mind in this end for all this shout out and accolades. If you all say, what? We can write FYI check this morning. Them boys useful. them boys are
doing the job, right?
Helping to push. Helping to push. Here, what I talk about, we Starbucks News. You see?
Yeah, and Kite Show.
And Kite Show.
Come on, guys. We're doing our bits.
Do the honorable.
Oh my goodness.
Someone
messaged me yesterday and said, I miss you, FYI. I miss that laugh. So I was like,
one-sided. Hey, sure, not me best.
You don't have the
every
laugh.
Day out here, sure, not me best.
You don't have the laugh, Sharon. You don't have the laugh.
Bias bastards.
You have to have this laugh, this distinct laugh, right?
Where do we go from here, Judah?
Well, as we move forward on the regional
front, you have the
front,
good laugh. Where we go?
We see the elderly brothers murdered in Trinidad, and this is something that is that's actually also being picked up out of Starbucks News, and we say that lives are valuable. When we see these things, we have to speak about it. And also on the regional front, we see lawmakers call for men's dress code review. And this specifically is coming out of the Jamaica Gleaner. And most interestingly, I have to say, I was surprised when reading this article, is that instead of current standing orders, the rules of parliament state that members dress for meetings of the House or committee should consist of business suits and necktie for men. So they're specifically speaking about men. There's a long-standing Kingston East and a Port Royal member of parliament. This is Philip Paulwell. Is of the view that the standing order should be amended to reflect a modification in the dress code for men. But specifically, I took note of this shirt. He said, in fact, you don't need a formal suit, but a type of short jacket and pants with proper shoes should be allowed. And I'm thinking to myself, in Guyana's parliament, guys, so those of you who don't know, short jack is allowed in the parliament of Guyana. So I have to say that we're one step ahead of other places, because here you have in Jamaica, them calling for a review of the dress code, specifically for men there, because the short jacks are not allowed and they have to go with jacket and tie, so we're a little ahead of them there. Kudos to the system here. I mean, we have so many to be concerned about, but at least you could wear a short jacket.
We got to be ahead in something. God knows.
At least we can wear shorts. We have tons of work to be done when it comes to dress code, and I want to mention that at this point in time, as a country altogether, as a Caribbean country to be specific, we have to be more, we have to move forward and be more realistic about the dress code that we ask persons to adhere to, especially when it comes to visiting public buildings. It doesn't mean that you're improper if you have a sleeveless. You can have a very properly attired sleeveless outfit and all of those things for women, and the conversation can go on and on about that, but that's something we're going to pick up on a subsequent program. So, but that is there. But as we look at what's going on locally, U.S. Secretary of State Blinken to visit in June. Sharon, what are your thoughts here? What are your thoughts here?
I don't think I have any thoughts.
Come on, you have to have a thought on this one specifically.
I don't know if I have any thoughts. Honestly, I don't know if I have any. Do I have any thoughts?
Well, the last Secretary of State to come was Pompeo, right? And he was here, and last I think Sharon got a name that actually came out of after he was here. I think the name Catfish that you got was from that. From that visit.
But let's see what comes out now.
you may have a little bit more, because I think that was what was
that was always
headlined about the discussions.
That's one of the things that Irfan raised, that the fact that our catfish weren't being allowed into the international market through the US.
Yes.
And Mike Pompeo would have promised to intervene. Well, that didn't end well. That didn't age well, much like the licenses promised by Suriname.
Correct.
That didn't age very well at all.
Well, and so in June, we hope that this engagement will
Mm-hmm.
bring a lot more fruitful discussions. I can say that much for Guyana's sake. So as we move forward, we see almost 2 years later, VP Jagger yet to honor his promise to release the Payara report by the controversial Canadian politician.
Wow.
So,
these promises.
And
these promises, they ain't aging well.
None of it is aging well because the sequence of events, if I can put it over like that, the sequence of events it's shady. It's too secretive, and all of those things. So when you start off on that footing, it's hard for you to redeem yourself and to actually come and bring truth to front, And I rather suspect that the reason why this is not being released is because it will bring more questions than answers, because no persons will have an opportunity to view for themselves what is in that. And then persons are going to be like, what the hell?
Yeah. I know part of the challenge is that we've accepted that.
Yes.
We've accepted the fact that they're not going to release this information that belongs to all Guyanese. Is not, the government is not the PPP's oil. It's not a private company. This is public, money we're spending. It's public resources. It's our what do you call it? Patrimony.
Yeah.
And all of that is involved here. But they decided that they're not releasing the report. And then when Blinken comes, we can talk about transparency and good governance, and we can talk about all of those issues, right? And we hold on to the report for 2 years for dear life. We don't want people to see what's inside, right? And then you say, trust us, all is good.
You have your best interests at heart.
Yeah. We do better.
Yes.
Trust your parents.
While persons are starving, while cost of living on the rise.
Yeah.
Trust us. People are not having increases in salary.
We can make sure we're great again. Trust us. We can have a plan to fight crime.
While states are being closed down.
Yeah, we can make sugar great again. Trust us.
While they've been they're converting into converting the packaging facility,
mechanic shops
into the mechanic shop.
Yeah, mechanization shops.
Guys, a lot can be said about the fact that where we are today, and we have continued to say the breaking of the guardrails is where it all goes back to. The fact that everything has been happening is coming from that. The fact that the guardrails of society and our democracy and transparency, good governance, and all of those things are being broken down with efforts. They're not just falling apart, efforts to break it down. So we will continue to see that we're not going to be moving forward in any positive direction once we continue how we are at this moment. So a lot more we will be discussing in that regard.
Big things happening in Linden too. Big things are happening in Linden coming up.
Well, I know that I have to say to the regional chairman in Linden, Darren Adams, he has been doing quite a lot. And I know Linden is to host, as has been reported, a massive business agri expo next week. So I can say there you see in photograph, you see Darren Adams is there alongside one of his counselors as well, Miss Bratwitt, if I'm seeing correctly. And lots Coretta Bratwitt there. And
the Ola is with
Sharon, but a whole lot. I encourage persons actually to go out and support Linden and that business agri expo that will be happening there next week. I'm going to take, I don't know if I could, but I'll try to take a trip there next week to make sure that I do my part in supporting.
Gotta do your part. Right? Gotta do your part.
But as we move on to the big issue, the big issue for today, guys, I'm going to say a few things on the big issue.
Well, our person of interest.
Yes, let's go to the person of interest. Or people
of interest. It's the Corruption Fortune 19. And again, these guys did some fantastic work. Yes, over the weekend there in Jamaica, some really, really fantastic work. And I think that their efforts are very, very noteworthy. Fantastic work over the weekend, guys. And again, we got to say respect and manners. Respect and manners to these folks because they've done well, and they really and truly deserve all the high praises that they have been receiving. And I just want to say, I want to call their names.
Yes.
Again, just part of honoring them. We had Jovan Roberts and Kaliza Smith, Marissa McPherson. We had Atoya Harvey, who did exceptionally well for us. Wesley Tyndall, Adriel Austin, Trevon Hamer, Anisha Gibbons, Gabrielle Lim. We had Hannah Reed, Stephon Roach, Shamar Horatio. We had Ezekiel Newton, and the final athlete there was Carice Lloyd, who all did exceptionally well for our country. Trina.
Well, guys, as you know, we have been consistently giving credit where it is due when it comes to sports, and we've been encouraging young people to go ahead, press forward, and we've been cheering them along in the best way we possibly can here at FYI. So we continue, of course, to cheer them on and to say, you are doing our country proud. We are very, very proud of you. A lot of times persons go and sometimes they have some challenges, something the results is not as they want it to be. We still encourage you to continue and to say that we are proud of your effort altogether. Right. And then for the persons that accomplish what they set out to do, we're even more proud altogether. So
super proud of you guys.
So to the entire team, we say from the FYI family, we salute each and every one of you. You have done our country extremely proud, and we are so happy to be following your journey in sports altogether.
Yeah. Truly an inspiration.
Yes. So as we move on to the big issue, it's quite a segue from the fact that we're celebrating our athletes there. So the big issue there is Guyana Carfest's political mayhem as it is being in uplifted comments guy.
Yeah, and this is how one person characterized it. I'm looking for the morning papers. How one person characterized it, looking at the issue again, that this had to do with the let me make sure that I have it right. Yeah, this was characterized by Paula Liverpool, who I believe is part of the sporting fraternity. She said an innocent act, according again to Starbuck News, an innocent act that turned into political mayhem. Right? That's what she said. An innocent act. But, this story is quite confusing, guys. This story is quite confusing because Charles Ramson put out a big post on Facebook initially about the event and all that, that they didn't know they had a problem. It wasn't communicated to them. And then there was a follow-up more than 15 hours later that, the organization had all the money to cover the expense. But that doesn't seem to gel with some of the other stuff that happened. Right? Because again, here you have these folks here, and I've seen reports. I've seen the reports which suggested again that, you know, there was more than just what is being said here. That actually they were out of money, that's what I really want to say.
Yeah.
For food, and they didn't have money for these tests.
Yeah.
So I don't know where Charles Ramson got his information from, but he said he got it from the director of sports, who he asked to look into the matter, right? Look into the veracity of the post. And he said that in all material times, use a legal word, at all material times, the team...
They were in a position to handle. Yes, I think that's what they were reporting, that they were in a position to handle the needs for the CARIFES athletes.
Right? And I just want to read a segment of that right out of Starbuck News. It says here that the president of the Athletic Association of Guyana, Aubrey Houston, I think that is the name. Houston or Hudson, let me make sure. Hudson. Last night cleared the air on assistance, and this is what I don't understand with Starbuck News here. Clearly here on assistance from former chairman of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes.
Wow.
Right? So this political mayhem, right? Now, Nigel Hughes was chairman of AFC how many years ago?
A long time ago.
In his capacity as a senior partner in Hughes Fields and Stobie.
Yeah.
Right? He intervened in what was happening there with our athletes. But that isn't covered. You see how journalism is? Right? Nigel Hughes, former chairman of Alliance. Nigel Hughes stopped being chairman of Alliance since last year.
Yeah.
It wasn't the year before that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the year before that. It wasn't the year before that. More than 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? But Starbuck News says former chairman of the Alliance for Change. Right? Not Nigel Hughes, attorney at law, senior partner in Hughes Fields and Stobie. You see how journalism can...
Yeah.
Right? That's what it said firstly. Hughes apparently was instrumental in getting financial assistance to the athletes in Jamaica to pay for COVID tests and meals. That's the papers. However, following his assistance, Hughes wrote on his Facebook page, and they tell us what he wrote, and we know what he wrote. Right? But again, what the follow-up to that, Houston last night spoke with Starbuck News of the developments, stopping short of calling the issue a storm in a teacup. Houston told Starbuck News that leading up to the games, he received commitment from the director of sports, whoever the fellow is, and he received money from the Guyana Olympic Association and all of that. Nobody's disputing that.
Yeah.
Right? According to Houston, according to Hudson, there's a culture in the Caribbean, all that foolishness. He didn't address the problem, you know.
Yeah.
Right? People would come around and basically ask if you need help. In this case, my manager was reaching out to people. I don't understand. Right? Because Charles, the point I'm raising, Charles said in a post that this thing never happened basically. They were never in need of money because they had money. But here, he's saying, in this case, this is Mr. Hudson. Right? My manager was reaching out to people for support. Right? When issues popped up, she was letting me know. I knew very well they were staying extra because because of the flight that we got. Right? Apparently, there was this girl who was talking to her good friend who happens to have the ears of the chairman of the National Sports Commission. This is one set of cook-up story.
Yeah. At the end of the story. And this is my thing, right? We can try to...
The fact is...
Good, exactly.
They have a problem.
The fact is the athletes were left without food and money for the COVID test. With everything being said and done, that was determined as a fact. The fact is further that Nigel Hughes sent money to cover that cost. Fact again, right? And I want to say this.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Twitter, sorry to interrupt you. Apologies. This year is we're calling the Auditor General now. Because a lot of money, based on their own admission, was received.
Yeah.
A lot of money was received. I mean, the Auditor General like jumping story. Right? This is when you need the Auditor General, because if the team was left without money for food and for COVID tests, and they're claiming all of these money were sent from the Mohammeds, from this body, from that body, from the next. Government said they put 3 million. Right? How then? They sound like the race, but 15, 20 million here for 3 days in Jamaica. How the team was left without money for food.
Yeah.
Right? This story here, to cook up. Yeah. More in the matter.
Well, I want to know because I want a couple of things I have to say. But first thing, I just wanted to make it clear that when I looked at all angles of what has been reported, and I looked at the fact that the individual that even got Nigel Hughes involved in it, because this is a cousin of Nigel Hughes. This is not somebody reaching out to a political person or anything like that. And let's be clear, Nigel Hughes hasn't been involved in politics for years. Let's put that out there. Let's just get that off, right? So this is someone that reached out to her cousin. Nigel Hughes is her cousin. One of a mother of a national athlete. She reached out. The lady said she was called at midnight by someone saying that they don't have money for the athletes for food, and they don't have money for the COVID testing. So she reached out to some of her friends to see what they can do. But then she said in another discussion that she didn't get persons because it was a holiday and so forth. So she didn't get the response. And he said when she was speaking to her cousin, Nigel Hughes, after that, he said that basically, that doesn't make sense because, the government will be funding whatever they need. And she said, she doesn't know whatever it is, but about the politics, but she knows that this is the situation. And so Nigel Hughes immediately committed. He verified, I believe it was Mr. Hudson there. And Nigel Hughes, after Mr. Hudson made his statement, basically trying to put it over like Nigel Hughes wasn't being truthful, Nigel Hughes put out the evidence on his Facebook page that he did send the money. He said, and he had good afternoon, send the funds and post it to Facebook because he had a conversation with this person, Aubrey Hudson. And after the conversation, he told him that, I sent him money and I posted to Facebook. After he said that, this person replied and said, I am grateful for your assistance, regards, So it is very sad.
Nothing irregular
right?
here.
It is very
Nothing
sad.
Irregular here. Nothing irregular here.
No, but I want to make this point to everyone that's looking right now because Charles Ramson took it upon himself to try to attack Nigel Hughes on a political front. Charles Ramson is the one that wants to come in with politics on this matter. This is a matter that the athletes were there. They needed assistance. It should not have happened. Better planning should have happened. And I have to say, like Sheridan, that the monies collected should be audited. And I believe that one of the things that that the guy Hudson said when he was being interviewed by the media there alongside Charles Ramson is that other persons give money like Mohammed's, and so those things should not be a secret, Those things should be public information.
Whose team is this? This is a private team? Is it government team representing us at Carifta? Is a club representing itself at Carifta? And what is the role of government in that? Government totally funds the team. What happens here?
But definitely you can't say that if he is reporting standing alongside the minister that monies were received from Mohammed, how much, for what? What did it cover? In addition, what was the total sum of money?
Yeah.
And what was the actual expenditure for the team, right? Because here you have the persons on the ground with these persons left in a situation that they have to figure out how to feed them and how to get them back home with the COVID test. And when their back were against the wall, they had to reach out for assistance,
Correct.
So that is the fact. But I want to make this point, Chad. I'm not going to stop until I make the point that at no point in time could Charles Ramson say or assume that Nigel Hughes wants to have some points. I wouldn't even say political points like he's bringing up because Nigel Hughes haven't been involved in politics for years.
Yeah.
No point in time could Charles Ramson assume that Nigel Hughes wants to get cheap points, for something like that. Because I want to make it known, and I have no problem saying when it comes to Nigel Hughes, in comparison to Charles Ramson, Nigel Hughes is a mountain, a giant of a man. He doesn't need to go out there and try to make himself look relevant. He has attained that status that was given to him. He is a giant. He is considered as one of the most prominent men in this country. to Charles Ramson's little feeble attempt to try to say Nigel Hughes is doing something to get some kind of point, it's most ridiculous. When Charles Ramson have to run around the place trying to do this and make this little stupid statement here and there to try to gain relevance, Nigel Hughes is not there. He is above that. He's a mountain of a man compared to Charles Ramson. Let's just put that out as clear as day, because I personally was very upset with the whole thing, because how dare Charles Ramson believe he couldn't come,
this little boy.
And you know,
Yes, little boy.
Guys, listen.
Yep. Nothing irregular here. Let's get to the bottom of it. Audit the finances of the church. Audit it and make the report public.
All of the persons that donated, you know, because this is not something I was considering before. This wasn't on the top of my mind, you know. But we consistently say our athletes need to be given as much as we can give to them, right? Then they work with limited resources and they try to do their best for us. And now when they're there representing our country, we read the reports in the news, oh, this one is excelling, this one is doing great, and all of those things. Then how do we how are we comfortable? How can we be comfortable knowing that these persons are there, having to go and perform as athletes, and then at the same time not having proper things to drink? They didn't have Gatorade, somebody had some powder, they're mixing in water. What nonsense.
We look in tin, we look at audit the thing. Yep. Right? Should be easy. It was a 3-day trip, wasn't that 3 months, wasn't that 3 years? Even that can be audited.
But it should not. You know, the sad part about this is that because this whole conversation now has taken on such a form that it's kind of beginning to overshadow the accomplishments of these athletes, and that's something I'm upset about. And it had no reason to go there, but Charles Ramson, in his capacity as the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, is the one that pushed it there. You know, instead of him having a press conference with these athletes and so forth, you know, celebrating them and their accomplishments and all that little bit of nonsense, for him to even pick up on what was transpiring, instead of fixing it, but pick up in a back and forth. It's most ridiculous, and I say
more in the matter than on the person. And if you give money to the team, let us know. I'd love to know if you as an individual, you give money to this team, you are called upon, you got a phone call to give money to this team, let us know. Right? And let's have an audit.
But I have to say that at this point in time, I have to say to the athletes, you know, it's sad that you had to experience this situation and the conversation that is of trying to be so out there that it is almost overshadowing your accomplishments. We're not going to let that happen. Your accomplishments are that's the important matter. We are proud of you, each and every one of you. To the management of the team that was there, good job, you know.
The coaches and so on.
Good job to all of you. I don't know, let me put it out there, I don't know any of them. I don't know them. But I don't need to know them to say that you have done well. You know, if you know that your back was against the wall in some matters, if you know that you needed assistance and you reach out, kudos. That's how you do it. And I am sad that we're at the point that we're at right now. But the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, again, childish behavior.
Congrats to the team. Audit. Audit the finances. Audit the spending.
Yes, most definitely.
And let's move on. That's out.
But that's our time. You know, guys, let's release the comments as we wrap up today's program. So much going on. And again, I must say that we encourage persons, our young people, to be out there in dealing with sports. I love to see young people excel. And I want you know, we should do a program segment when they're back and rested properly, so that we can have proper kudos going out to each and every one of those athletes, you know.
But good to have you guys here, Glycis Mingo and Selbert and all the other guys joining us from around the world. Thanks for joining our program this morning, folks. Smash that emoji button. We see hundreds of you guys are watching us. Smash that emoji button. And guys, you know, we don't say it enough, believe it or not, how much it takes for us to get these programs going, all the services we have to employ to get these programs out there to you. And we encourage you guys to come on board and to partner with us. We all know costs going up all the time, but we do this as a labor of love on your behalf, guys. So come on board and partner with us. We got the Cash Apps available also. We got Zelle and PayPal, MMG. We're available via MoneyGram, via Western Union as well. folks, that we can do these programs better, we can do them bigger, we can do more of them. Folks, be out here getting you valid and credible information all the time. Come on board and partner with us. You want any further details, information, our WhatsApp number, 627-6963. That's our MMG number as well, 627-6963. We'd love to hear from you guys. Come on board, find a way to partner with us so we can do more of this for you.
That is right, guys, and I have to say that we have been making sure that we utilize the funding that's coming in as efficiently and effectively as we possibly can.
This guy needs enough to stretch everything.
Sadly, it's a consequence of what we're experiencing in the country right now. We actually learn, all Guyanese, we learn to stretch our dollars and as much as we possibly can. So we continue to do it here, and we encourage you guys to continue to support. For those of you who has never come on board, we encourage you to come on board, and it's quite an experience to be a part of the FYI family. I can tell you that our family, as it extends, especially the persons that reach out to us and that actually partner with us, they would be able to tell you that there's a different level of family affairs there.
Yeah, believe it or not, believe it or not. And guys, we encourage you to share. We want to see, smash that emoji button, folks. Hundreds of you guys still watching us, Glenford Garden and Show. Before you go this morning, you smash that emoji button. Smash. Share. Make you a man put you to shame.
I know, right? I saw.
Share.
You know, Manza does it too. Manza does it. Share.
Share, folks. Share the live stream as well. Smash that emoji button. We're so glad that you guys are here. Stay safe out there.
Have a good day, guys. I see you tomorrow morning, back again at 8 a.m. for FYI. Be sure to join Sherrod for Below the Belt at 12, and of course 8 p.m. this evening, where he's going to be battling it out in the ring.
Ping, bang, bing, ping, bang.
Have a good day, guys. Bye, everyone.